You know what you should do? You should follow me on Twitter at Bromo018. Link in the description. Do it now. After covering a whole range of different topics in the first two parts of our FIFA 20 Player Career Mode Wishlist, we round off the mini-series with the third and final part in this video today. If you're yet to check out the previous two Player Career Mode Wishlist videos, then make sure that you go and check out those first before you come onto this video. As always, be sure to leave your suggestions for improvements that you'd like to see made to Player Career Mode in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Otherwise, let's begin. First of all, we start with our small Part 2 recap. In Part 2, we went into length about the likes of storylines being added and developed in the game mode, as well as major press conferences improvements and the addition of a social media feature. Now we move on to player progression. Now in Player Career Mode, we are still stuck with the very dated and old-fashioned accomplishment system. This has been the way for some years now in the game mode. For me, there needs to be a major switch from this system to the one that is in Pro Clubs. For those that don't know, the Pro Club system is one where accomplishments have been removed, and instead your attributes will go up with games played and receive boosts based on how good your performances are. Gone are the days where you have to score with your weaker foot from 30 yards out. What's frustrating for me is that when EA decided to change the progression system in Pro Clubs, they didn't replicate it for Player Career Mode. This laziness has very much impacted on the fans' experience of playing the game mode, and as a result, it becomes much more of a chore to try and improve your pros' attributes and overall rating. A similar system to this was also used in The Journey. With accomplishments, you also have to complete them in order to earn new traits, such as a second wind, giant throw-in, fancy flicks, etc. Again, I'd also want to see a change on this front as well. Instead of the current system, I'd like to see a feature added where you can earn trait points through good performances, loyalty to the club, and for earning awards, etc. Then you can spend them on traits. What also impacts player progression is the training system. Currently, we are stuck with the basic 5 training slot system that is also present in Manager Career Mode. For me, this needs to be removed and instead replaced with a feature similar to that of what was present in the Journey game mode, where your training performances will impact on both your progression but also your place in the squad. The training had removed a lot of the skill gains which you see in Career Mode and instead replaced it with more meaningful exercises such as 11v11 practice squad games and more along that region. This is what the developers of Player Career Mode, if there actually are any, need to do in my opinion. That rounds it off for the player progression system for our wish list. Next, I'd like to move on to the squad standing. Now, what will happen in Player Career Mode is that you'll create your player, and then regardless of your level, will be in the first team squad and occasionally get some games when you haven't played for a while. This needs a major overhaul in my opinion. Back in the likes of FIFA 10, you would generally start in the reserve squad and have to work your way up to the first team and earn your chance. And I'd very much like to see the game mode go back to those roots. If you aren't good enough for the first team squad, then I believe the correct way to go about it is to have under 18s and under 23 squads. With this, you can still get game time and improve your player by playing at a solid level of football. In addition, it just adds a more realistic feel to the game. Unless you're a wonder kid breakout star, this is how the majority of footballers have to earn their trade, by working their way up the ranks of the youth academy and earning their shot in the first team. Perhaps you're in the youth squad and you get a start in a cup game where the manager has made a lot of changes to the team. If you impress with a good performance, then you have the chance to impress your manager. As a result, you may start training with the first team squad and then getting games in the first team occasionally, as well as still playing for the youth teams. Notice how this links in with my suggested improvements for training. If you've been training with the youth squad and then all of a sudden you start training with the first team, then you'll notice a sudden difference because of the increase in overall ratings and physical attributes. As a result, it may take you a little bit of time, to adapt to the physicality and the increased performance levels. In addition to all of this, I desperately want to see a feature added where you can start as a sub in game and then come on from the bench at some point should the manager decide so. You can start in the sim screen, fast forward at say triple or quadruple speed whilst you aren't playing, and then if the manager opts to bring you on in the game, then you can resume playing. This is very much how it is done in Pro Evolution Soccer's Become a Legend game mode, which for those that don't know is Konami's version of Player Career Mode. However, it is better than its FIFA counterpart. Finally, for squad standing, I'd like a feature present where you can become captain of both your club and your country. There has been a myth going around that this feature is actually present in FIFA, but to my knowledge, it isn't true. It was available back in the likes of FIFA 10, but as usual, was removed without any justification. When I spoke earlier about having trait points to purchase traits with, well, one of those traits could be leadership. If you obtain that one, then it makes you a suited candidate for the manager to choose you as captain. Now, this would be good purely for cosmetic purposes in itself, but I believe something could be done with it to give the feature greater purpose as well. As captain, you would be able to alter tactics in game. Maybe not even the formation itself, but when you use the D-pad to alter attacking and defensive tactics, as captain you'd have those options available to you. I believe this would reflect the role of a captain in real life, because if they're leading the way and encouraging their teammates to press the ball and up the intensity, then the other players will follow the leader and the voice on the pitch. It would also be great to see your player lead out the team on a regular basis and also lift the trophies if you win any. Moving on from squad standing now, I'd like to talk about improvements that need to be made to the AI in Player Career Mode. Now, the AI gets a lot of stick in all areas of FIFA, and it's no different in Player Career Mode. Starting off with the transfer system, I've noticed that your club simply won't make good transfers. Let's say you're a striker. They might sign a striker or two, but they're like 63 rated. Now, of course, if your overall is 80 for example, and your club is in the English League 1, they aren't going to have the resources to bring in someone of that calibre. But at the end of the day, 63 rated players aren't going to get them promoted to the Championship either. The signings made by the AI need to both put your position under threat more and also better reflect the ambition needed for that situation. Signing bad players isn't going to improve the team, and as a result it's generally the same players that stay with you in these lower leagues, meaning there's more pressure on you to perform with a bunch of inferior pieces around you. In addition to this, your manager will always play the same formation. Not only does it get repetitive, but if it isn't working, then you're just stuck in a broken tactic, and that therefore hinders your progress as a player. Because the game doesn't simulate clubs changing manager, it means that the formation will always stay the same. So regardless of the fact that it doesn't portray football in a realistic way, it can also mean in some instances that it isn't fun. There are only some managers that will refuse to change formation, and that's usually because they're the most successful managers in the world at the top level. In the lower leagues especially, you'll find that formation changes are far more frequent. This needs to be simulated in the game. Speaking of manager movement, I want to see career mode in general simulate the manager merry-go-round. It adds the potential for many more storylines, which we spoke about in the previous two videos. Perhaps a new manager is hired to your current club that doesn't like you as a player, and as a result leaves you out of the team. Or maybe he tries to adapt you to his new formation. Perhaps you're a centre attacking midfielder and he wants to play a flat 4-4-2. He may try to bed you into that role of a flat central midfielder. There are many routes that EA could take with this, and by God, they need to explore them. Well, I guess that rounds it off for our Player Career Mode wishlist. We've managed to get quite a lot of suggestions into the mini-series, and I hope that you guys will add to them in the comment section by giving suggestions that I may not have mentioned. There's still many more wishlist videos to go for both FIFA 20 and PES 2020, so make sure to tune into them when they drop. If you've enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more regular gaming content. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter using the Twitter handle at Bromo018. The link is in the description. And on that note, it's time to end it here. I'm Bromo18, and I'll see you soon.